What's up guys, how's it going? Today we're taking a look at the Motor Nuclear Project Wei Yuan Trainee form. Now this is a sort of non-scale but mostly master grade size kit from Motor Nuclear Project themselves. They're a Chinese third-party kit manufacturer and they do some really awesome, detailed, really good looking kits at a pretty affordable price. So these are definitely ones to look out for. I don't remember how much I spent on it, but if I do get an actual figure, I'll throw it up on screen. And if I can find a good link to share with you guys, I'll toss that down in the description below. So before we get into it, make sure you like and subscribe. The more you guys do that, the more I'll get to see that this channel is a viable option. And I'll keep posting more and more of these model kits, be them Bandai, Motor Nuclear Project, ZAKU Workshop. I have a lot of them in my backlog. I'd love to keep doing this, so please like and subscribe. It means everything to me at this point, the start of this career, and I'd love to see how far I can go with this. So getting into the actual box itself, we can see there's a nice, beautiful CG spread of not one, but two of this guy. One up in the back there using the ranged weaponry, while our one up front is using his melee combat weapons. And as you can see, this is part of a line called Legend of Star General, which I believe that's a manhwa that has been adapted into physical model kits. If I find more context, I'll throw that up on screen for you guys. Over here, we can see the weapons that this kit's going to come with, and just a little pose featuring each weapon, which I think is a really nice touch. Love that the crossbow is seen in both its folded out and folded in form. Love the face design on that shield, and the sword looks fairly basic, but it still looks exciting enough. There it is side by side with its front and back versions, and you can see we're expecting it to be about 19 centimeters tall, which if 1:100 scale is taken into account for master grades, that's about the same size, if a little bigger than a standard master grade. On the side here, the front and back, it's just the same render. And we can see over here, the beast's face could pull down. So this is in reference to the demon face on the waist of this kit. You can, I'm guessing, open and close the mouth, but in reality, it's actually retracting and contracting the ab section up here. I'm guessing that's going to be what allows it to access its ab crunches and arcing backs, which is cool. Down here, we've got a little bit of concept art for the kit itself. May even be from the manhwa. Not sure, like I said, if I've got more context, I'll toss it up on screen here. Over here we can see its replacement emoticons, just faceplates that represent different little emotions. I love these two cool designs. This thing is so funny. I'm probably going to have it in this one for most of the review, if not on my shelf permanently. And I love that it gives you a plain one, either for a customization or just for a very basic battle-hardened look. I think that's fantastic. Again, like most master grade style kits, it's got a knee linkage showcase, which is just essentially moving armor plates that move when you adjust the angle of the legs. And right here, last but not least, pre-assembled alloy internal components. So we do have a pre-molded inner frame. It's not complete. There is nothing at the waist here to connect the torso to the legs, so the legs will be separate, and so too will the arms from the body. And as far as I know, the actual torso section here is made up of smaller individual parts. So it's not really one chunk, two chunk, three chunk, four chunk, five chunk. It's a bunch of chunks and then the arms and the legs. Next to the armored section, that looks really good. Both of them look really fantastic. Obviously never gonna have it displayed like this because you can't. And this just looks too badass to miss. So I'm just gonna leave it in its armored form all the time. I think it looks beautiful. Showcases off some really nice color work from the guys over at Motor Nuclear Project. And just another little link to the website there for this guy. Now, I got this kit from Taobao. Taobao is a Chinese website that I've been using for a very long while. Not exactly the most user-friendly site for anyone who doesn't live in China or can't read Chinese, but honestly, it's such a good site. If you can use translation apps to make it work, you should use that site. Popping the box open, and the first thing we get access to is the manual. Now, once again, we're greeted with that lovely graphic and the name of the kit once more, It's a trainee form, so we can expect that if this design is reused later on in the project, it'll have a little bit more going on. We get to have a look at all the runners we can expect, and it seems like we're getting quite a few of them, but they might be quite small. Like you can see A4 and 5 here, just seem to be a few pieces each. They're not really anything particularly special, and unfortunately, we're already seeing quite a lot of X's. In fact, why do we even get runner C2? Oh, right, we're only using 2 parts off it. Oh well, whatever, that's just how it is. Right beside that, it's just more of those graphics and the types of weapons. The second thing that really jumps out about this kit, immediately when you open the box, is you can see the inner frame pieces. So they come in this little separate box here called JG, but in this box here, you fold it open, you get attacked by a little sheet of paper. That little sheet of paper is the face plates. So this little guy right here, oh sorry, not the face plates, it's just little decals. That's cool. I wonder maybe those are actual Chinese characters. Not sure, I'll have to look into that further. But within the box, you get to have a look at all these parts, and the inner frame seems more involved than I thought it was. It's not really largely pre-molded. There are a few parts, like as you can see, most of the legs here are almost entirely pre-molded with that alloy, same with the arms. But yeah, there's a few more intricate joint pieces back here. And same for these little ones over here. Now don't lose these, because you are not going to be able to get replacements. You just have to buy a whole new kit, and that would be a pain in the bum just because you lost some of these smaller parts. So don't do that. If you do that, you are silly. So then we have a few more specialty parts with this kit as well. We have runner H4, which is in this nice, almost candy-coated, dual layered plastic. You can see that there's silver in the back and transparent up the front, transparent blue, creating that nice shine. Now that's an awesome alternative to candy coating, where it's actually double layered plastic. Hopefully it looks really good when we bust it out of the packet. And then we have these parts as well. Now it's a little hard to see through the plastic. I don't really want to take them out in case I lose them, because I'm fairly certain I will, but I'll get a closer look on this. So you can see the trim on this is actually painted in a nice deep green, and the center is this deep transparent navy. We'll get a better look at that when the kit's actually fully built up, but these are the pieces that are on the skirt, so different wind-swept sort of styles. I think they look beautiful. So just one last thing that really jumps out at me about this kit and what's inside the box. I really love how they've included this, because you really only see it on the most premium of model kits. They're just such an absolutely awesome and dynamic accessory for the kit. See, it's this right here. Silica gel, throw away, do not eat, desiccant. Wow. We've got one runner and another major component for the sort of action base that this kit comes with. Maybe not necessarily for aerial poses so much as just in-air poses. Wait a minute. Is that the same thing? Whatever, who gives a shit? We've got the base piece. Now this does not come attached to a runner, which is great because I don't want nub marks on the side of my bases, even though that's usually the thing that I consider the least. And nothing special going on the underside, no. And then we have a whole runner dedicated to that as well, runner Z3. So this again looks pretty much like a standard traditional action base. It's in a nice high gloss black plastic, which I think looks pretty fantastic. Not looking forward to building it because, let's be honest, whoever is really looking forward to building the action bases. But you know, I'll definitely throw it together so I can get this guy into some nice in-air aerial action whatever poses. It also seems to have a little nameplate, but I guess we'll figure out what the use for that one is when we put it together. Runner X here also seems to be what might be one of my least favorite types of runners. It's mostly the hand parts. And look, the hand parts are cool. I like having a lot of hand options, but my goodness, that is a lot of fingers. That is a ton, that's so many fingers. And I just know I'm about to make a mistake, cut it way too close to the peg, or cut one of the fingers off on accident. Runners D1, D2, and D3 is this really nice blue navy sort of color to compare really well with that nice green that the kit is mostly comprised of. You can even see down here on D3, we've got a lot of pre-painted pieces. This blue up here has some silvery grey on the side. Same with this one, though it's a little brighter. It might actually just be white. And down on these ones here, down on D4 and 5, we've got a nice green trim lining the side, which is the primary armor's color. Honestly, I think this looks beautiful. I really like the idea that they're going to throw these in, and there's only 3 runners worth of a nice blue to sort of mix the colors up a little bit and create some harmony with the design. Now it's not a contrast to green is red. To quickly run through some of the smaller and less consistently colored runners, we've got runner G3 here, which is just the faceplate of the shield in a nice browny gray with some sort of brownish iron accents to it. That looks pretty beautiful. You can see that it's definitely just sprayed on as well, because this part of the plate is not going to be visible, but these raised bits are, so they've kind of just gone around it, and you know, it is what it is. It looks beautiful anyway. Over here, we've got runner K1, just some black pieces that'll be throughout the kit. Honestly, nice bit of basic black to just break up some of the more vibrant colors we're going to see on this kit later on. Then we've got K3 and F. They're all in the same, except for F is a little bit higher gloss. You can see it next to the K. Both of them are quite shiny, but F is just very, very glossy. We've got ourselves the face plates. Now this was a runner I was looking forward to. I love that bright gray. I'm holding it upside down, I think, maybe not, who knows. H3, honestly, I love that goofy looking face there. I love this one because this one is actually their gaps. We've got the basic nothing plate. We have the pre-painted designs. These are, I think, just printed directly on. I've just tried scratching it up and it's definitely holding on all right, so those are cool. I'm loving this runner, by the way. I love those little goofy little faces, and I always love having the option to change them out. We have runner G5. It's got a pole on it and some other hard to discern features. I like that nice pre-painted shiny red in the center there. That is fantastic. But again, I cannot stress enough how much I paid for this kit is so minimal compared to how much quality I'm seeing on the runners alone. And now we've just got 2 little runners here. We have this little guy, runner H2, just clear parts, though I believe this is what will be showing through the faceplate with the holes in it because it's pre-painted in a blue. And then we've just got this little guy here, C3. Now C3, A3, and A5, they seem to be in a particular shade of plastic. I mean, C3 is a little different, but it's not too far off. This one is like a brownish sort of green. A3 and A5 here are definitely in a ZAKU, generic army robot style of green. A3's even got some pre-painted attachments as well, which I think is such a good idea. We have runners B1 here. It's 2 copies of the same runner, so they're that nice powdery shade of green. Under this light, again, it looks sort of bluish. That's just the light of my camera. I have no idea why it does that. I'm sure in the final video it won't even end up looking like that and I'll sound like a madman. But yeah, it's a nice powdery sort of grayish green. Fantastic idea for this kit. Marries really well with B2, which is the same shade, and has a few more of those armor plated pieces for the legs I can see. Maybe in a few accents for the head too. We won't know until we've built it up. Over here, we're looking at what I believe is going to be more parts to supplement the inner frame. So we've got runners G4, we've got another runner of G4, and we have these last 2, which are runners G2 and G1. So these are in a nice brown, sort of browny grey plastic, and I think that's great because all the time when you see inner frame on kits that are sort of master grade scale, they're always in like a black or a gunmetal or like a boring basic grey. This in a brownish grey with that slight metallic look to it is going to pair super well with the green armor over top. So I am looking forward to chucking this on. We've got the powdery green again, this time on runners B4 and B3. So B4 just seems to be a couple of repeated pieces. Unfortunately, yep, we're looking at a few. That's going to be a bit tedious, but it is what it is. And B3 here has a few more pre-painted areas, such as what seems to be the trigger on some type of gun, maybe, and a chest piece, and what seems like it might be a headpiece. Over here is what seems to be another specialty piece for the kit. It's the sword itself. So that is definitely just a plasticky finish, and it stops way too close to the hilt to be paint. If it was paint, they would have scuffed that and it would be all over the sides of the hilt. That is just two separate flavors of injection mold plastic. And you can see they've clearly run out of that injection mold plastic, because my runner seems to stop short as if one of the Chinese Sheen factory kid workers had a little nibble out of the top there. Same up there. So just to break through all of that green that we've been seeing, we've got a couple of runners here that are just some more green. So we've got a couple more of those monotonous double pieces over here. A bit frustrating, runner A4, but whatever, is what it is. Don't know why they don't just throw it on a bigger runner and just call it A, but whatever. A2, again, some more of that lovely green. This is an olivey sort of green. It seems like we're going to be dealing with at least 2, but maybe 3 shades of green. I don't know if maybe I'm colorblind. Probably not. Runner A2 looks okay. And down here we've got runner A1, which has a piece I love the absolute look of, and you'll see it as soon as I show it on camera. Wow. How cool does that look? That shield is going to look fantastic with that sort of demon face design. God, I'm looking forward to building it so bad. I love the look of this kit's accessories, and I just cannot wait to throw this one together and put it to the test. So excited. Then down here, we've got what remains of runner C. So we got C1. That's in a little bit of a darker olive green than the last 2. And we've got C1. That last one was actually C2. I was pranking you guys. I'm silly. And the very, very last runner in the kit, we've got runner E1. Now this seems to be mostly white, but if you look a little closer, it's actually slightly off towards beige. Some pieces are also pre-painted, like piece number 3 up here is like one of those gunmetal-y brown sort of colors. And up here on 5, oh, they've pre-painted the dots on the inside. These guys are fantastic. I cannot believe that they went out of their way to do all that for a kit that only cost as much as this one did. Again, I can't recall how much I paid for it, but I remember it being around 30 bucks. And like I said, I will toss that value up on screen if I can find roughly what I paid for. It should still be on my Taobao page somewhere. Make sure to like and subscribe so that you don't miss out on any of the content that I make.